Hello, future friends and current friends alike. My name is March, or Marchalan, if you want to be all formal about it, and welcome to today's video. I've been excited for this one. This is my love letter to the intermediate lobby of Strawberry Jam. I have done this kind of video once before for the beginner lobby, but if you missed that video, what do I do here? Well, I talk about all of the levels that appeared in the intermediate lobby. I gush about them. This is not a review. This is not a critique. This is an excuse to thank all of the people that put all of their time and effort and hard work into this mod. Lots of positivity in this video. I hope you can stomach it. Up in the corner of my screen there, I've got some footage playing right now. Throughout this video, I will be showing off footage like I did during the beginner lobby. Last time I did this though, it was all deathless footage to sort of catch people up on my progress towards the rainbow strawberry of that lobby. I have not been able to get anywhere near all the silvers of the intermediate lobby. A little bit harder, still working on it. But instead, I'm going to have footage playing of each of the respective levels, which I think is just going to make for a much better viewing experience anyway. So enough of the logistics, let's hop right in. We're starting out in logbook order with Sleeping Under Stars. Well, the first level in the logbook, I actually played this one second to last. Green in the logbook, as we know, is the color of easy, but for a green difficulty level, this one sure gave me far more trouble than I was expecting. Then again, since it riffs off the farewell, maybe I should have expected it. I am not the greatest with jellyfish yet. But yeah, you've got like a key hub room in this level, and jellyfish and dream blocks and all of the fun assets from the farewell, and it comes together in this nice homage to the farewell, of course. This level does this neat thing though, where it starts you off in this almost like nightmarish, stress, anxiety, dream kind of vibe, right? And then once you get past the key rooms and you go through the blocks, it gets like maybe a little bit more dreamlike in like a cozy, nice way. More colorful, more vibrant, maybe a little bit less stress. And I don't know, as I record this, I'm now kind of wondering if this is sort of like the player diving deeper into the subconscious here. Like the keys are like, or the blocks themselves, I guess, are acting like a barrier to keep out darker thoughts. Or maybe this is what lies underneath the surface. I don't know, something like that. It's very like Yu-Gi-Oh! Millennium Puzzle-esque and gives me a lot to think about. But past the blocks, things get a little bit more bizarre, a little bit more aquatic even, as we dive deeper into the dream. Be the mermaid, Madeline. Embrace the mermaid, Madeline. Last thing about the music. When I played Sleeping Under Stars, I was so impressed by Ogino's music. I mean, just listen to it. Yeah, tell me that doesn't fit into the vanilla game. Tell me that's not like, didn't just directly come from the farewell. It's so impressive. That violin is perfectly haunting. Well done. So yeah, at first glance, this level just might be a play on the farewell and using most of those assets. But I think if you want to peel back the layers here a little bit, there's actually like, I don't know, a more subtle story being told here. And I quite like it. Wait, hold it here for a second. Yes. Let's talk about the atmosphere of Frosted Fragments first, because wow. If I was given the task of making a wintry cave of mystery, like I 1000% couldn't have done anywhere nice a job as this. This level looks gorgeous, sorry. I spelled that wrong in my script. I've been on the Infinity subreddit, like the Infinity Nikki subreddit too much. The swirling snow, the ice, and just when you're starting to see a little too much like ice cave, right? Here are these skeleton ruins to sort of change up the pace and give you like a lot of questions. And fortunately, a lot of answers, because this level has lore. Did I mention it has lore? Because it does! I love lore. Especially optional lore, the kind that you have to hunt for, the kind that like just immerses you into what the level's doing. Oh, I love it so much. Learning about the research expedition and discovering how everything went so wrong, the power of this unknown artifact that's absorbing all the heat from this area, and that maybe, right? Like maybe this place didn't used to be an ice cave. Maybe it was just like a normal cave or like a normal base. I don't know, something. Maybe it didn't used to be so cold. What I'm saying is it's cool. Oh, go away. The music is so perfect too. There's nothing that says like ice level in a video game more than like the plucking of strings and the highest of piano notes and maybe like some like light percussion. I don't know, very quick crystalline notes, if you will. I'm sure entire video game essays have been created on this topic, and unfortunately, I'm not really quite the right person to discuss this. I lack the understanding and the training. But this section, this one right here, yeah. Oh, I love the hesitancy and the build up there. It has this like level of uncertainty and anticipation, and I love it. Oh, and I didn't even talk about how this level has a super fun mechanic either. Shame on me. Pushing blocks is a time-honored video game tradition, and works surprisingly well in Celeste, as it turns out. This level was so fun. Now tell me why Granny's in a cage. Okay, right away, the music. We have to talk about the music. Cold Rush is such a bop. No wonder that Creature F was chilling here. Wait, side note, while we're here, side note. Celeste community, how did you get me to start using the term Creature F? Like, I know that's what they're called in the game files. I get that, okay? I get that, I understand that. How did you get me to do it? Because they're tardigrades, they're water bearers. When did I start calling them Creature Fs? Well, alright, well, at least it's easier to spell. So I'll give you that. Okay, back to the 5th dimension. I love the way the music just hits you. I will always love energetic music that hypes me up to do the thing. The thing of, in this case, of course, being like a bunch of wall bounces, but like perfect wall bounces, the perfect place to train yourself in the art of wall bounce, if you will. And when I first hit this level, ooh, let me tell you, I definitely needed that practice. So I'm ever so appreciative of that facet of the level. I don't know much about the history of it, of course, or really any of like the history of any of the levels in the greater Celeste community, given that Strawberry Jam is like my first mod that I've ever played with this. But I was told that Lero had like a level that predates this one called the 4th dimension, and I think that's cute. 4th dimension into the 5th dimension. Speaking of cute, I like the design of this level. I mean, I'll always love a level like Paint, something that has these like beautiful sprawling environments. Like, those will always be my favorite, if I'm being honest. That's my bias. But a level like this that has this like, I don't know, like on the surface, simple looking geometric motif, I think it's very pleasing to the eye. My only regret with this level, is that I still haven't gone back to find all of the level's comf spots, the cozy spots, the little 1-block dash spots that you can like get into. I only found one of them, and I've been told that there's a bunch. Actually, wait. Do I have time? Future March, do we have time? Pretty comfy. Not that comf. Stop checking holes. No promises. Oh, wait, nothing. Nothing in this one. Well, they did ask me to stop, so maybe that's fair. Not gonna, though. Not gonna. Nothing in this one. Well, that's suspicious. Woo! Gaming! I did it! Well, that was delightful. I'm glad I came back for that. Past self, I think that about covers what you wanted me to do. All that's left is for me to heart ultra. Clearly. Woo! That's my 4th! I filmed this after next week's video that has my 3rd. I think. Maybe. It's either my 3rd or my 4th. You guys will have to weigh in next week. Alright, let me try. Alright, let me try with this one. This might be an odd comparison, but Logi Botany reminds me a lot of the Rose Garden from the beginner lobby. The mechanics, of course, floating on a rose, drifting through space. Obviously, much different on first glance, right? And the visuals are not at all the same. But I mean, I guess the one thing that is similar is the fact that there's plants involved, but that's a stretch. What I do think is the same are the feelings that I get while playing both levels. For low-G Botany, that feeling, that peace, comes from like these lower gravity sections, right? Where you're just like floating through space. And I like that feeling. I like how different Marchalan feels from her normal gravity as you like work your way through these isolated moon bases and these tunnels. That isn't to say I would want it to always be Marchalan's normal moveset, or like fall set maybe. Is it a fall set since it's gravity? As something different, as something to sort of break up the normal flow of gameplay, I really like it. This level feels like an invitation to just slow down, take a deep breath, even though it's space. Don't think about it as space, just take a breath. And let yourself chill. Speaking of chill, Grix's atmospheric vibes, those certainly aid in that endeavor. Yeah, I think this level is delightful. I thought the end of this level too, as you ascend into space, was just wonderful. Emotionally, it was the highlight of this level for me. It makes me really like its place at the end of Raspberry Roots as well. Last thought, okay? I love cozy. My brand, as small as it may be, can probably be described as cozy. But the more I explore these experiences that I seem drawn to, the more I value ones that I think I could describe as maybe gentle. Gentle can still be cozy, but I don't know, the feeling of gentle lets you do things that cozy doesn't do very well. It lets you mourn for the moon base that fell into ruin. It lets you soak in the feelings of being alone while floating through space. Yet, somehow, still in the end, like cozy, pulls you into a hug as you break free from gravity. Maybe that only makes sense to me, but low-G Botany, you're gentle. You're a gentle level. We're closing out the last of our easy green levels here with the level that I played very first in the lobby. Wait, is that the footage from when I didn't fast bubble? I didn't use that. Oh, how'd that get here? Alright, whatever. You're all just gonna have to deal. I kind of picture myself watching, like this one up here, my Sea of Soup run in like a year from now, and being horrified by just how unskilled I was with bubbles. Sea of Soup, you did your best to teach me how to fast bubble. Did a good job. And then threw in a fast bubble trap in Raspberry Roots. I respect the play. This level was a bunch of fun though, and the visuals are so cute. The colors are so good. The needles in the background, the giant Naruto, the literal seas of soup. I want to go here. I also quite enjoyed the curveball of a level that was designed where you don't have to dash. Did I have the skills to attempt such a thing when I first started the intermediate lobby? Of course not. Did I try anyway? Of course I did. As a collector of strawberries, I had to. Also, it was fun to experience. But it was rude of you to throw the wind at me right off the bat. But I will forgive you because the Vista spot halfway through the level just looks so good. Finally, the music. Yet another bop. Especially once it's allowed to get going at the halfway point of the song, right here. I don't know if I have ever felt quite this way while eating soup before. If anything, I get drowsy after a good ramen or pho. Clearly a skill issue. Definitely a skill issue. Because I need to remedy this ASAP. I want to feel this way while eating soup. This is the first of several Ceph songs on the intermediate lobby soundtrack, by the way. It might be my favorite, although Jim Jams is pretty high up there too. Yeah, there are several Ceph songs, most of them used as either like extra lobbies that we're not going to discuss today, or like bonuses. So I think we're only going to see their work one more time later on, so watch out for that. Of all of the levels on my list today, I think I'm the most excited to talk about Vertigo. Well, this and Pointless Machines, but we'll get there. This level, though, is just so wonderfully divisive. My comment section had a lot to say about this map, from people who really enjoyed it to people who absolutely despised it, and very, very little in between. Either opinion is valid, to be fair and to be clear. I'm not exactly sure where I fall, though. I think I really like this level, but maybe like in spite of itself. I like it the way that you like the villain in a story, where every great story has this wonderful villain that you just can't help but hate, but like you love them and respect them at the same time. Like they're just so perfect for the fit. Kind of like Emmett Silk. Will my audience even get that reference? I mean, it's not like the most obscure Final Fantasy XIV reference I've ever made. I know at least one of you will. Oh well. I can't find the comment, but one of you gave me the best term for this kind of level, and it's to say that I'm in rivalry with Vertigo. I struggled through this level, and I struggled again to get the silver strawberry for this level, but in it pushing me, it definitely made me better, and I like it for that, so thank you. But like, come on, Vertigo. Come on, Vertigo. This level 100% goes out of its way to mess with you intentionally. From disorienting camera flips to warps that leave you scrambling to figure out where Marchalan is on screen, and like uncomfortable sound effects, and the way that like the teleport effect looks, and the grayscale where you can't tell how many dashes you have. Like, choices were made here, and how dare you? This level does at least give you infinite stamina, which is really nice, and the music at least isn't out to get you. In the gray vacuum of space, Celestial Void is quite soothing compared to its antagonistic counterpart. I would wall bounce to that beat. TLDL, too long, didn't listen. I'm in a love-hate relationship with this level. It clearly had a mission, and I think it accomplished it beautifully. After all, it's in its name. It's Vertigo. And the award for the level whose title confused me the most when I looked at it in the logbook the first time goes to, drumroll, Eat Girl, of course. But can you really blame me? I had no idea what that would mean. Well, maybe one, but that's not something I should talk about here. Time and place. Welcome to the maze, where you are your own worst enemy. It's not the Battalions chasing you, or the walls of the maze that are going to get you, or even the little obstacles that are in each screen. It's you. It's always you. One wrong turn, one little stumble, one slip of the controls, and it's over. It's actually wild how fast things can go wrong on this level. And at the end of the day, it's just Pac-Man. Well, sort of. I was told that this is actually referencing a game on itch.io with the same name, which of course draws inspiration from Pac-Man. Honestly, love or hate this level, this might be one of the most unique levels in the lobby. Actually, you know, I'm gonna say it's the most unique level in the lobby. We took Celeste, but we put you in a maze where Battling is the Pac-Man ghosts. It's so simple on paper, but just so cool, and I don't even like Pac-Man. Now, on top of all that, what if I told you that each screen of Eat Girl and the one for Raspberry Roots, that section 2, that flag, they have completely different twists every single screen. How does that even work? There's just so much creativity. Even the strawberry rooms are different. I'm so impressed by that. I love how frantic it feels to play this level, and I'm looking forward to going back and plan out my route for the silver strawberry. Oh, and the music. The music. A Maze Without End reminds me of peak 90s video game music. It's just great chiptune music. The feel it gives me as I'm listening to it, it's like these like crunchy digital waves that are just ebbing and swelling as they roll through the maze and just like strike dead ends. And, like, I don't even know how you get an ocean to sound crunchy, but you did it. You did it, and it sounds so good. It's sorcery. It's sorcery. Sugary, sweet visuals, buzzy, boppy music, and sticky, tricky mechanics are the elements of Honeyzip Inc. What I learned in this level is that I seriously need to step up my reaction times, lest I get stung. Those ziplines are fast! But like the name implies, once you get the hang of things, you're going to be zipping around like a queen. And Threager 90s music here is something I'd happily drone out to during any work shifts. Are we done with the puns? We can be done with the puns. Seriously though, I was told that every level that has honey in it and strawberry jam is amazing, and this one did not disappoint. Also, are there more? Are there more coming up? I love the little graphics everywhere in Honeyzip Inc. I love the little posters, and like, I don't know, it sets up this whole cute story of this factory. I think just sort of the like, is it diegetic? The diegetic storytelling here is just so fun. Finally, one of the neatest elements about a level like Honeyzip Inc. was sort of pointed out to me in this comment here. Since the level is a hub and that it doesn't require every key, either when you're playing normally if you don't want all the strawberries, or if you are just sort of going for the silver strawberry, you get to sort of plan your route. You get to pick which like branches of the hub that you want to go down. So instead of routing for speed, you're actually routing for safety in this case. And That's really cool. It's like a whole new dimension to levels like this. And just like Glide Random here, I would love to see that idea explored more. In Filtration was the first hint that I might be biting off a little bit more than my current skill level. I found the level challenging, but rewarding at the same time. I didn't know Celeste could make for a good spy thriller, but darn it if it doesn't work, and also like the Metal Gear references that I barely understand are funny too. Reusing the dash crystals for like a time dilation effect, super cool, very neat. I would say it definitely messed with my sense of timing and made the level like harder sometimes, but I also replayed the level with the time dilation off, and no, I'm still just as bad. So that's on me, skill issue. The facility here definitely looks great, like in that way where you're like, oh yeah, no, this is bad news. I don't want to be here. Major shady government vibes. Major they're not up to any good vibes. I mean, look at all the lasers and saws. Absolutely not. Bad place to be. The level background too. I love this level background. It really sells the environment for me. In Filtration also has 2 music tracks. Not the only one in this lobby to do it, but the first on my list to do it. It starts off as this very cool and collected, like moody tone, perfect for what we're doing. Yeah, look at us, slipping past all the obstacles, breaking through their security. Aren't we awesome? Aren't we cool? But then things take a twist when we disable part of the security system. It becomes a mad dash to get out of there. So the music changes accordingly. I like it. It's perfect for what I found to be a very hard level that will one day claim more of my lives when I go back for the Silver Strawberry. But on that day, I shall become the greatest spy. Ah, Supernautica. Thank you, Legs, for packing this level with more Easter eggs than I could find. Truly more than I could find. I was told that I only found about 1/3 of them, which, wow, okay. Makes me wonder how much more is in there. It was a delight, and one day I'll go back to hunt for some more. I still do have to get the silver for this level after all, so that would be a good excuse, maybe then. Also, a double thank you for making a level that encourages the practice of supers. Another thing that I desperately needed. Especially as a girl who, until very recently, was mixing up what supers and hypers were. The level, though, is not just one of Easter eggs and supers, of course. It's also very pleasant. I quite enjoyed the underwater theme. I liked the colors, I liked the coral reef, I like all the decoration. True, most of it is just encouraging me to sort of cram myself into spots I'm not meant to go, but like, that's fun! There's exploration in this level. Quite the fun jungle gym for all those jelly juggles and supers. Oh, and remember how I said that Steph would be back? Well, that's their music playing right now. Nothing says underwater like, I'm gonna say like woodblock percussion, is that what I'm hearing? I think it's wood blocks. I'm never positive with that kind of thing, but it's definitely the right mood. That much I am positive about. Ooh, also, wait a minute. I did find one more room while going back for this footage. So let's check on that, shall we? Well, now I'm more confused than ever. Why pointless machines? Legs! Hey, remember all that practice I got with wall bouncing in the 5th dimension in Vertigo? Well, then the tower came along and was like, surprise, you're still bad at it! Given that the tower is a vertical level with wraparounds, and might also be referencing, hang on, V, 6 Vs? Yes. I had my work cut out for me. Oh, and the frozen ice lava that's chasing you, that didn't help me either, thank you very much. Overall, the tower is a neat level that also doubled as a nice tutorial on the best way to climb frozen core blocks, which I would say is niche, but I actually think that comes up more often than I give it credit for. It's definitely the only level that I've played like it in Strawberry Jam so far, and I have to respect the commitment to the square motif. It's used in the backgrounds, it's used, well, I guess in the blocks, but it's also used in the spikes. The red square spikes, those are very memorable. They're peak. Speaking of peak, the music for the tower is not actually on the soundtrack. This in Deep Blues. So maybe the artists wanted to do something different with their music, which if so, that's understandable. So what you're listening to right now is just my capture of me playing through the level. That will be the same for Deep Blue later on too. This song though, called Peak, perfectly suits a level called The Tower. I mean, the more you listen to it, right, the more you think about it, like a good chunk of the song is made of ascending scales, and it seems to also just sort of get louder and louder over time as you go. So there's just a lot of like climbing, even in the music, as you are doing climbing in the level. The music is climbing with you. Or maybe pushing you to climb. It's definitely got that vibe. Either way, it works, and it works well. I cannot start talking about Construction Conundrum without talking about the music. Because right when you load into the level for the very first time, you just start to get hit with like all this like really cool, again, is it diegetic? Is that the word I'm looking for? You get hit with all of these instruments, or really sound effects, that are from construction sites. Titled Jackhammer Jamboree, because alliteration is the best thing after things like tea and bread. It kicks off with these jackhammers and these rivet guns and these saws that persist through the entire song and act as sort of like backing percussion. I love it so much. Just don't think about the fact that like the construction workers are canonically asleep as you play through the level, right? Like these sounds, they're coming from somewhere. Don't think about it. They're too great to not have. Just think about how cool the level is as it tricks you into picking up like power-ups that you didn't want while doing its platforming. Trading a double dash crystal for a single jump arrow, not worth. Bad trade. Also, this level has Theo not trapped in a crystal. And that's so fun! No crystals are fun! Theo not being trapped is fun! So yeah, I really enjoyed this level, especially because it had these sort of there and back again moments. A large part of the level is linear, but a couple screens, including some of the ones for strawberries, have you go through the level one way with one set of power-ups, and then once you get like to the end of it, you have to backtrack with a different power-up that you like had set up as possible using the first power-up. That's how cool is that? It's so good. You have to have a really good attention to detail and like level design in order to do something like that. So that's just really impressive. I actually think this level might be the most enjoyable played like as its intended route, but I mean, come on. They set it up in a way where there are definitely things you can skip. There are definitely ways you can sort of avoid certain power-ups. I'm looking forward to all the shenanigans I might be able to get up to when going back for the Deathless. We'll see. You know that meme of Yancha from Dragon Ball Z laying dead on the ground? Me. Me after Square the Circle. I just wasn't ready. If my driveway almost did you in from the beginner lobby is the one you have to thank for convincing me to perfect that lobby, this is the level that you have to blame for the opposite. That's not quite fair. It's just a very difficult level with bubbling mechanics I wasn't used to. And despite my complaining, I have played through this level start to finish 3 times. So you know as well as I do, it's very good. Hard mechanics aside, just soak in the visuals here for a moment. How wonderful are they? The billboards, the neon lights, the pride flags. This level is a delight to explore. And the music just goes so hard. I couldn't ask for a better pairing. I thought this would be a puzzle level when I first read the title. Turns out I'd have to wait on that one. No, this one was far more literal than that. The interaction of cabin blocks and orbs is actually quite hilarious. Who knew? And the secret at the very end of this level, well worth my time pursuing. So cool. One day, I will be back to silver this level. I will prove that it's not impossible for me. But for now, I will continue to fear it in like the best way. Like Vertigo, I am in rivalry with Square the Circle. Ooh. When I was playing through Deep Blue the first time, I could really feel how much this level was pushing me. Like Square the Circle, each screen felt like a fight just to get through, and when I finally got that THX at the end, I was so relieved. But here's the funny thing. As grateful as I was to complete the level and put down the controller, I honestly couldn't put it down in my head. Like a siren, Deep Blue calls me to come back and to get better. Part of that is the beautiful level design here, and also the music. But I think largely Deep Blue is just a really well-made level that is challenging in a way that spurs me to want to do better. Like Granny said in Vanilla Celeste, we get attached to the struggle. On the topic of the music, I like to play this game when I listen to the soundtrack for a Strawberry Jam Lobby for the first time. So, I mean, that's been twice so far. Not quite a pattern. We're getting there. Since I don't pick it up until after I've seen all of the levels, I like to guess which songs belong to which levels. Some are absolute dead giveaways. Pufferfish Transportation Co.'s Puffed Out, for instance, or Botany's, Botany. Yeah, not hard to guess. But one of the songs on the album is Midnight Monsoon's Vacated Vessel, which I'll talk about soon. That title, though, keeps tricking me into thinking it belongs to Deep Blue. I mean, what vessel is more vacated than Deep Blue's submarine? But no, Deep Blue by Northern Winds, like I mentioned earlier, is not on the soundtrack. It's an absolutely wonderful song, though, with very strong percussion. I couldn't pick a better song for ocean exploration. No notes. Last thing, I was tipped off to this hidden room in Deep Blue, but I honestly have no idea how to progress on this one, so that's neat. Just another excuse to go back there and revisit it. Yay! Temple of a Thousand Skies. This level's hard. I mean, sure, it's a red level, but before switching to my current keyboard for movement controller for everything else hybrid setup, I tried to practice the Deathless route on this level with a controller, and I don't think I'll ever get it. Wall bounces, wave dashes, and bubbled supers. It's a taxing level that really puts your understanding of each of the tech to the test. Whether or not I'm able to get it in the future, I love the flavor of this abandoned place in the cloud. Here's a level I wish had hidden lore. I want to know more about the people that called this place home. The elements used in this level are absolutely beautiful, and the vanilla assets are used so well. Like in Filtration, Temple of a Thousand Skies uses two separate tracks of music. Here, the song Clear Skies has a day and a night version. On the surface, they're very similar songs with a very similar structure, but the day's version melody is led by piano, while night version is led by almost, I want to say wind chimey sounds. There are more differences between each version, but they're really subtle and hard for me to talk about, and especially to know what I'm saying about that. And they both have this background wind sound effect that really ties the music to the sky ruins perfectly. Like in Botany, I really like the end of this level where you just ascend into the sky. For my first red level in this lobby, this was a perfect one. Midnight Monsoon. Gorgeous level, and the second to use a coral reef as its main focus. How funny that it happened twice. I love the way this level builds its story. As we progress through the screens, the rain picks up until our first crash of lightning hits the ground just as the music twists into something far more eerie. Then, eventually, it settles down just a little before picking up the heart. I love that kind of thing. Speaking of things, the level's main thing is the constant juggling of crystals and jellies while limiting your dashes and giving you jump arrows to supplement your moveset, so that's a lot to throw at you. All of those components can be a little overwhelming to a player who's pretty new at this. Me. I'm talking about me. It's overwhelming to me. But once you understand the tools that you've been given and figure out the path that you're supposed to take, it's so rewarding to make it through each of those screens. I read a lot of positive comments about Midnight Monsoon, and yeah, I can totally understand why. That last strawberry room though, wow, quite the challenge. Oh, and look at that. That's my second ever Heart Ultra. Neat. I do not have enough good words to say about Pufferfish Transportation Co. This level now has everything I want in a level. interesting rooms, fun challenges, incredibly silly contraptions I still don't understand, and a fourth wall breaking story. I think the best way I can describe Pufferfish Transportation Co. is like an incredibly gentle troll level from games like Mario Maker. The sheer number of times that level tricked me into breaking a mechanism or found ways to explode a pufferfish on me had me laughing from start to finish. In my playthrough of Raspberry Roots, I commented that the pufferfish contraptions felt like magic to me. Obviously, a lot of work went into this level, just like all the levels of Strawberry Jam, I'm sure, but this level surprised me and captured my heart. Even each and every strawberry room was just an absolute delight. Oh, and the music. Puffed Out captures every bit of that cheerful absurdity of doors vanishing and pufferfish floating through the air. It's the whistling. It's definitely the whistling, and I adore the fourth wall breaks as Madeline, the marine biologist, starts to question reality and her position as a Pufferfish Transportation Company girl. So, what even is a puzzle? That's the question I pose to all of you as we move into our final level of the lobby, Pointless Machines. Whatever the answer is, I think Pointless Machines rides that line. Its core idea is that it blocks your progress until you complete a series of dash inputs, while at the same time giving you a limited number of dashes to do those inputs. For some people, that's definitely enough for a level to be considered a puzzle, but if you abstract a Celeste level a little bit more, right? Don't most levels ask you to do the same thing? Don't most of them ask you to navigate from A to B, and they have an intended route set by the creator, and obviously you have a set number of times that you can dash, just because of the nature of how the level's constructed. The difference though, nay, the magic of Pointless Machines, is that it draws back the curtain, boldly showing you its intended path ahead of time. It gives you all the answers and says, you're a smart girl, you can handle this. I think at the end of the day, Pointless Machines is a puzzle level, but only because, in my mind, it treats itself like one. It's the limited dashes, it's the obscure solution being presented to you and trying to figure out how it works into the level design, and the lack of bombastic music that gives you sort of a chance to think. I think that's a big thing with puzzle levels, giving you music that doesn't overwhelm and sort of allows you to put the pieces together. But I think at the end of the day, Pointless Machines walks that line of what is a puzzle level in Celeste. I think it's clever, and dare I say it, I think it's almost like what a postmodernist level would look like in Celeste. Is it art? Is it not art? Is it a puzzle? Is it not a puzzle? Who knows? I think it's bold though. And Caterpillar, those dash sequence failure sounds that you made, they'll haunt me forever. Thank you. Well, everyone, there you have it. That's my love letter for the intermediate lobby. I could have spent so much longer talking about this. I could have said so much more things. I could have gushed more, but this is going to have to do for today. I didn't really have time to put together something for Raspberry Roots specifically, but I do also want to say, really enjoyed that level as well. Not to mention the music, which is why I'm letting it play right now. Next week, everyone, I am starting the advanced lobby, and I'm looking forward to it so much. Actually, wait, this is a secret. Don't tell anyone. I've actually already started the advanced lobby. I just haven't edited that video yet. And trust me, it's gonna be an experience. So I hope you'll join me for that. And to those of you who are still here, I want to thank you for making it this far into the video. I really appreciate it. I've taken up enough of your time today, so I'm going to let you all go. See you next week, maybe. Bye now.